thought I would make an orientation tape for you simply because there's going to be a lot to absorb, and I thought you might like to go back and review it. All of this will be, or has been, covered in Monday's class, but we're going to do it via video also, so you can double check back. First, we need to make sure you're in the right spot, and that would be Business Ethics, Business 120. My name's Linda Eckert, and my email is leckert@ivtech.edu. Best way to get a hold of me, I try to get back to you within at least an hour. Sometimes it's within a minute if I'm sitting here at the computer. So you can also call me at the White County Instructional Center, and you'll find that number in the syllabus. I'll show that to you in just a bit here. So let's kind of go over what we will talk about on Monday. Monday, we're going to look at orientation. I'm going to go over what the class is about, what we will do, and kind of get you so you can navigate through the system. Wednesday, we're going to cover what the course impact journals are, and a paper. We'll talk about how to do those. We will also create a code of ethics, and I'll probably have you use Padlet in class, so make sure you bring a device with you, either a tablet or a laptop if you have it, and we'll go from there. Friday then we'll do what they call a syllabus quiz or content quiz. I think we'll do that in class just to make sure everybody's on the same page. And I'll cover the social responsibility project, which is a short project, a learning service project I think is kind of very interesting. And we'll finalize the code of ethics. Now, next week, on Monday, there is no class. On Wednesday, we are going to start watching an Enron movie, which I will ask you to continue at home. And when you come in Friday of next week, we will discuss the Enron. So that's kind of what's going to happen for the next 2 weeks, just kind of get you oriented. So I sent you an email with the student profile questions. Hopefully you've all returned that. If not, please do so. Check your email. And you should have posted a question on, or a color that describes you. For on Padlet, one of the technology sites we're going to use. And also I had you send me a question, which I'll answer in Monday's class. So all those things are very important. The question's worth 5 extra points, so make sure you get that to me so I can talk about it in class. So how does this two-way video course, how's it going to work? Well, we're going to use several sets of technology. I don't know about you, but two-way video is sort of like watching TV, and a lot of times that puts me to sleep. So I'm kind of assuming it gets that way for other folks too. So we're going to add some technology to help you interact and to help us all get to know each other better. First technology we're going to use is Padlet, and we've kind of already used this a bit. Padlet looks like this. It works fairly well. I gave you an address to go to, padlet.com, leckert69, business 120. And this came up. So all you have to do is click, and you can post something here. So first of all, you want to type your name. And then you want to type something. I ask you to type in your color, what color best describes you. So the color that would best describe me is blue. It's cool and reminds me of the ocean, which I love. So that's what you would do, and that's kind of how this works. We'll use this for class discussion probably sometimes, or I'll ask you to type a question there, and we'll go and see what everybody asks and have a discussion with it. So it's a good little product. I like it. We're also going to use Get It, which I'm going to use to ask you questions to poll how well you're understanding what we're talking about in class. May use Class Flow. This is a very similar to a collaboration site. Let me show you. No, I can't show you. I don't have it set up. But let me also bring up Blackboard here. And we'll look at, here it gives you the addresses of these things. Get It, here's the address for Get It. Class Flow, here's the, I didn't give the right address for that. Class Flow is classflow.com. Today's Meet we're going to use as a chat. That's a fun one. And then we'll also use Blackboard Collaborate, which you'll find in Blackboard. I also use a lot of two-way videos. Or not two-way videos. Obviously, I'm going to use two-way video. Use a lot of YouTubes. And there's one in session 1 that's called Don't Ever Give Up that we're going to watch Monday. If you miss class on Monday, I want you to watch this because it's a very good video. So that's a little bit about what we're going to use and how we're going to do it. What we're going to be doing for class is typically you're going to have a chapter to read. There are 10 discussion boards. That's about a discussion board every other week. These are all marked in Blackboard, so if you follow Blackboard you can't miss them. There's a business professional activity. There are 10 of those, which are going to be ethics activities. There's something called a CIJ, and that is a course impact journal. You will make, I believe it's 10 journal entries over what we've talked about the previous week and how it may have impacted you. About halfway through or 3/4 of the way through, you'll create a paper from these journals, just a summary of it, and we'll talk more about that on Wednesday. There are 10 quizzes, and there's that social responsibility project. We'll talk about, I think that's Friday. And then there are 3 tests, and there's a final test. So the class is fairly well structured, and I hope we have some time for some good discussion through this. So what is the scope of this class? Basically, I say business law. Law makes the world go, or makes business work in America. But it's the ethics we use in America that really creates the stability for business to work well. And it's becoming a very big issue. So what we're going to cover is, number 1, ethical issues in general. We've had ethical issues since the dawn of time, I believe. So we'll look at some of those. We'll look at corporate ethical issues. We'll look at what social responsibility is and how that should play into this. We'll look at some decision making. How do you decide what is ethical and what's socially responsible and what to do? And then we'll bring in some current ethical issues that seem to be cropping up daily. That will be a fairly big chunk of information to absorb. So I think this will be very, very, very interesting. It should bring out some really good discussion. I will have rules on discussion and how much time each person can spend. We want to keep this moving along at a fairly good clip. So Wednesday or Friday I'll bring in a sheet of paper that'll have rules and regulation, not regulations, but rules and guidelines. I guess guidelines would be better on how we will discuss this and just give us some general boundaries for it. Next thing we have to look at is that syllabus, and there are 5 things to remember. I could give you a list after list after list, but these are my 5 biggies. Be nice, be here, be on time, be prepared, and please be professional. If we follow these, we're going to have a really good class. I can go into greater detail. We will talk about cell phones. We'll see how we want to handle those as we go on, and that'll come into with the code of ethics that we're going to be working on Wednesday. Last day to drop this class and not have it show on your transcript is April 11th, 2015. How to evacuate this building? I think Crawfordsville, please make sure that you check how to get out of the building after this class is over with, because I'm not familiar with the new building. Here at White County, we would go out the door, go to the right, and go immediately out the door. A very important thing, so probably the most important thing I'm going to say today. Now, let's look at the syllabus, okay? And let me find it here so I can bring it up. Here we go. Standard syllabus, as you can see. Let me get rid of all the icky stuff. There's my information. There's that phone number I told you about. Here's the catalog description and the course objectives. We do have a required text, but the text comes with the course, and it is an electronic course. So let me pull that up and show it to you. Let's see, I think I need to go to session 3. Let's see, am I right? Here you go. This is a typical session. It's going to have an overview video. We're going to have learning activities. The power lecture is a PowerPoint, but this is going to be your link to the book. And it's a really good book, I think. It's easy to read, and it's very interesting. One thing about the book is a lot of people have trouble reading on a computer. So it has been made available. If you go through the bookshelf, you can actually download this to your tablet, and that's what I would strongly urge you to do. If you click on this, I don't know what this one's going to do. Let's see. I guess we can just figure it out as we go. There we go. And there's your first chapter. It's like I said, a very good book. I think you will enjoy it. And there we are back. Here, the rest of the page kind of looks like this. You have learning activities. There's a PowerPoint. Then, in this folder, I have the assignments for you. So if you go inside, you're going to see here's the course impact journal link and the instructions for it. Here's quiz 1. Here's an explanation of the social responsibility project, and then this would be your discussion board. So each week, if you complete everything in here, you've got everything done. So that kind of gives you the required text and instructional material. Also, you can buy this in hard copy. I think it's $20.13. It's a loose leaf format, so you'd have to buy a notebook also to go with it. But so if you think you're going to have trouble reading it online, you might want to think about that. And I'm not sure if our bookstore in Lafayette has it or not, so I should check that out for you. Let's see. Again, here's how we're going to evaluate things. There are 3 exams at 100 points each. Final exam is 200 points, and that's comprehensive. I'll give you a study guide. The CIJ, the journal with the paper, it actually should have a slash, is going to be a total of 100 points. The social responsibility project is 100 points. There are online quizzes at 10 points each, and then here are those activities I talked about, business professionalism and classroom participation. These are going to be discussion boards. Should come to 1,000 points. Typical grading scale. Let's see, of course you have to be here, and you know that April 11th is the last day. Please don't, please do your own work. I think we all know that by now. Cell phones we're going to talk about, as I said. Goodness gracious, is there anything else? Make sure you remember to use campus email, Campus Connect. No kids. And then we get down to, here you go. This is our outline. We will follow this. Any changes, I'll make sure to tell you. So for the very first week, you can see I've got Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And that's how this will lay out. So Monday, we're doing the introduction, we're reviewing the syllabus, we're doing the course requirements and classroom expectations. For Wednesday, you want to do that discussion board forum. There will be an activity put up that's going to be where you match who said what and everything, so you're going to have to read that whole discussion forum. We will do the course expectation quiz. That will be due Wednesday evening, and then we're also going to in here work on a code of ethics, which we'll discuss more on Wednesday and finalize on Friday. Once we have it finalized, then I'm going to send around like a survey that you accept it. And then next week we're going to start looking at Enron and Enron video. Obviously, we don't have classes there, so there's no classes next Monday. Whoops, I need to spell that correctly. And we will watch the Enron movie, or the beginning of it. You'll have to finish it, and then on Friday we'll have a discussion about it. So that's the next 2 weeks. I do expect to give an evaluation for how the course is going, probably about right here, and see if we need to change anything. I'm going to make sure everybody is comfortable and we've got things set up as well as we can be. So that kind of lays it out. Everything's fairly well laid out. If you have any questions, please call me or email me. I don't think there's anything you can't ask me. So that would be the syllabus. Make sure you print that puppy and print the course outline. Make sure you bring a laptop or a tablet to class, because we're going to be using this other technology. What I'd really like to be able to do is run a chat on the side, or to allow you to view a PowerPoint or video using that device. So it's very important. Bring what you have, and let's see if we can all get connected. So how do I teach? Well, I'm not really fond of lecture, but I'll probably lecture when I have to, about 15 to 20 minutes. I want to make sure you understand the issues and the terminology, and then we're going to do in-class projects to demo the ethics case studies if we can. We'll use those discussion boards, and we'll look at videos. The video Never Give Up and Need to Learn, or How to Learn, both are in session 1. We'll watch those. Those are good. Additional resources that you can find in the resource link. There's one for the book. It's called the Student Web Page. It's got quizzes in it, and I think that might be really good to help you review for the quizzes. So I kind of went over the weekly schedule. Oh, what else can I tell you? Important things to remember. All Make sure you have access to the textbook and Blackboard. Print that course outline, and for Wednesday have the introduction discussion board done, and post 2 codes of ethics, if you please. And that should keep us fairly well going. Any questions that you can have, please email me. I'll try to get those answered for you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for listening, and I will see you Wednesday. I will see you Monday or Wednesday. Thank you.